and I was typing while you said that, so hopefully my typing didn't interrupt and everybody heard what
No,
Alan said.
So we're now live on Facebook, I see.
Yeah, awesome.
Devices.
Facebook is starting right with us in 2021. In the last few months, in the last few months, we had a little issue where every time we tried to go live, I would have to try about 3 times before it worked. So this is good news, Facebook. Let's see here. So Alan will keep an eye on our Facebook audience in case any questions come up. And we'll get started in just a moment. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to see all of you here. That's what I like to see, starting off your social media marketing year off right. We'll get started in just a second. All right, cool. See, a lot of you are hiding your face again today. That's cool. But I'm happy to see you here anyways, and happy to see the faces that I can see. And we are right at 12:30, and I know that we have a good group with us now, and I know we have a few more people joining us, but I'm going to go ahead and get started for the sake of time. So let me go ahead and do that. And you can just give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen so I know that we are awesome. Great, great, great. All right. So again, welcome everyone. We won't have the time to do introductions across the room. As you can see, that would probably take us the entire hour. But feel free to go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat on Zoom or in comments on Facebook so that we can know who you are. If you have a business, if you're starting a business, if you have been in business a long time, just kind of introduce yourself to us. And afterwards, I do go back and look at those comments. I'll be excited to meet many of the new faces that I see here today. So I'll introduce myself to the new folks and say hello to the folks that have been with us long time. I am Magalia Sin, and I am the Interim Executive Director at Hustle Winston-Salem. And we host this program, Marketing Outside the Box, every Wednesday, give or take, throughout the year in partnership with Foresight Tech Small Business Center, where Mr. Alan Younger, who's here with us, serves as the director there, and also with Flywheel Co-working. And I think Christy, who's the community manager, is with us today as well. So thank you both for joining us, and we're happy to put this program on every week for you all that the calendar allows. So for those that don't know, Marketing Outside the Box started a few years ago because we surveyed a number of small business owners and entrepreneurs in our community, and we had an overwhelming response that marketing was the greatest need. So we continue to provide this program as long as that need exists. So if you ever tell us we no longer need it, we'll stop it. But we enjoy putting it on, and hopefully you all get value out of it. So once a year with our Marketing Outside the Box, typically we would do a session or a series on social media platforms. And as you know, 2020 was a very different year across the board. So we did not do it in 2020. So we decided to go ahead and start 2021 off right with a focus on social media. And today we're going to start with the social media giant of them all, Facebook, because a lot has changed with Facebook. You may hear me spill a little into Instagram here and there as I talk about Facebook today and some of the changes and things that are working or aren't working. But as you know, Facebook and Instagram have merged, and a lot of the things do coexist, but we will still do a separate session on Instagram because there are still other things that I won't talk about today. So let's get right into it. So I like to start with stats. 38 minutes. That's the average US adult spends 38 minutes per day on Facebook. So you might think that this doesn't sound like a lot of time, but in the world of social media, it's the difference between your business succeeding and not succeeding. So you're gonna make sure that you use those 38 minutes, which likely comes in 2 to 3 minute waves. If you truly think about how people use social media, I'll speak for myself. I'll jump on Facebook and scroll for probably 2 minutes, get off, go on Instagram, do the same thing. And I do that throughout the day. So if you think about those 30 minutes and how people are using various platforms, those 38 minutes added up matter a lot throughout your day. So you want to make sure that you are providing content and engaging with people in those 2 to 3 minute waves. You know, your 15-second ad, the time that you decide to put it on social media will matter the most. So keep that in mind as we go through some of the stats and as we talk about some of the good, bad, and new of Facebook. And I may go a little fast because I want to get through all of the content and leave some time for questions if there are questions. But feel free that if you have questions throughout, I think I skipped the slide. Yeah, feel free if you have questions throughout as I'm speaking to definitely stop me. I can't really see everyone. So if you put a question in the chat or on Facebook, Alan will be sure to stop me and let me know that a question is being asked. But feel free to unmute yourself at any time to quickly ask your question if I don't happen to see it or if Alan doesn't happen to see it and we are on the topic at the moment. Okay, so first let's talk about, before we jump into some of the new things that have changed with Facebook, let's take a look at some of the things that have pretty much been what we know about Facebook over the years. And it's important for us to do that, to take some time to do that, because in order to know where we're going, we need to know where we came from, right? So what I want to start with that is think about years ago, Facebook, when we think about it, the growing social community was a very important part of Facebook. That meant that the more Facebook likes you had, the more people would see your content and hopefully engage with it. The more people engage with your content, the more people saw your future content. It was all so simple once upon a time. However, social media marketing has evolved over the years, and 2021 has proven to be no different. So in the past, you could be sure a certain percentage of people who liked your business page would see your content organically. And a lot of people think that's still true today. It's not. Since the Facebook newsfeed algorithm changed, the only way to be sure a substantial amount of your community will see your content is to invest in Facebook ads. You no longer need to rely on building page likes to have a community with which to serve your content. So businesses can now totally bypass counting likes and focusing on follows and things of that nature, and shift their focus more to value-driven business metrics. Mm-hmm. The really sad part about all of this is that due to the Facebook news algorithm, the news feed changes, users who like your page may actually never see your content organically. That means if I follow your page or if you follow my business page, that no longer means that that Facebook will let you see what I post and vice versa. So that's very important to think about. Facebook, was there a question? Nope. Okay. Facebook page likes also used to be very public actions. So whenever a user would connect with a page, a story used to be placed in our feed. For example, it would say, you know, Alan and 15 of my friends like Hustle Winston-Salem. We used to see that throughout our news feed. If you realize that's something we no longer see. So this display of what's known as social proof, that doesn't happen anymore. And what we find is that users can also navigate to different business pages and leave reviews and comments without any obligation to follow your page, like your posts. And keep in mind, once upon a time, this was necessary. In order to comment on my page post, you had to follow my page or things of that nature. None of that exists anymore. So if we assume that page likes are equal to an endorsement of your brand, or if you used to have that assumption, it's simply not accurate anymore in modern social media marketing. So I want you to keep that in mind. And you're probably wondering, why are you telling me all of this? Well, the thing is, reports have shown that only 1% of users who like a business on Facebook will visit that page. I'm going to repeat that. Only 1% of people that like your business page will actually visit your business page. Since Facebook users spend almost all their time in the news feed, banking on page likes to drive business results is not a good idea. Doing so is the equivalent of being obsessed with a car that can't take you anywhere. The fact of the matter is that you can invest to build the biggest brand page in the world, but statistically, none of those Facebook page likes will correlate to revenue at any point. If we look at that 1% statistic. So the journey from liking your page to purchasing a product is a long, convoluted adventure that has many twists and turns. And of those twists and turns, a page like is the most irrelevant. I know I keep saying that, but I want you to understand that, because we spend so much time focusing on people liking our page or following our page. Stop focusing on likes and follows. So Facebook page likes might make you feel warm and fuzzy, but they aren't as much as you think for your business. And I know I've been a bit harsh and I've been beating a dead horse saying that, but it's very important to the success of your brand and your business that you don't obsess over what's known as vanity metrics, such as likes and follows. And there are ways to market to people who choose to connect to your page, but these tactics pale in comparison to what you can do to drive business value by investing a few dollars in Facebook ad for things like website traffic, brand awareness, promoted content, which we covered a few months ago. And you can email us or check our Facebook videos for a recap. We talked about this, I think, back in October or November when we had guest presenter Keisha Ward, and we talked all about the ads. So I won't go into all of it today, but if it's something you need, just send us a DM or send us an email, and we're happy to do that. And if Tasha's on the call with us, she'll drop our email address in the chat for you. So I won't spend too much time on the next group of categories that you see on the page as far as lead generation and messenger and various things like that. Those are some of the changes that we saw mainly between 2018 and 2020 on Facebook. But if you have a question about any one of those in particular, once again, please drop it in the chat and we can circle back to it if time allows. If you're unaware of any of those listed changes, take a few minutes. I implore you to Google it on your own time, because these things are important as we talk about some of the things that we see that have changed in 2021. But the major takeaway from those categories, and I have them in those three blocks, as you can see on the slideshow, on the slide, I have in those three blocks on purpose because they're kind of connected that way. But the major takeaway from all of this is that Facebook really spent a lot of time over the last year or so to make sure that you can respond to your messages quickly. It was a big thing for them, and not you as an individual, but you as a business. And because they did the research to recognize that to customers, it mattered that they can get in contact with business owners. So they spent a lot of time adding in things that will help you better respond to your customers. So keep that in mind as you look at those. And each of those things that you see that's underlined, I've linked it to more information for you so that when we send out this presentation to you, you can click those links and learn more about very specific things that I'm referring to in the presentation. And again, if you have questions beyond that, once you click through those links, just let us know and we will be sure to give you the best response and best advice that we can. I'm no Facebook expert at all. Honestly, I learn Facebook every day, but we're happy to help whenever we can. Okay, so just quickly, I promise you that I won't talk about ads this entire session, but it's imperative to your business marketing success that I mention Facebook ads. As we all know, and I've said already a few times, Facebook newsfeed algorithm has made it problematic for businesses to get content in front of your target audiences for free. So this is why smart brands have allocated a budget for promoting content to ensure that Facebook posts reach the right people at the right time. And at the right time matters a lot if you think about that 38-minute stat that I shared in the beginning of this presentation. So, as I often say, promoting content should now be a regular activity for your business. If you're not doing it, you're doing business on Facebook wrong. It's inevitable. They've set it up that way. I want to take a moment to make sure I'm clear in sharing that boosting posts is not the best method to drive true business value for your brand. Yes, when you boost a post on Facebook, the post is delivered to the news feed of users who fit within your general targeting parameters. If you all can mute, I'm not quite sure who it is. I can't see who it is, but we have some feedback. If you all can mute to ensure that everyone else can hear us, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So when you boost a post, generally speaking, it does put it in the news feed of those that fit within your target parameters. And it's true that clicking that little blue boost button, if you know what I'm talking about, Facebook normally has you, there's a blue button that says promote. Clicking on that on your business page, your content would reach more people than it would organically. But it's important to know the majority of these people don't respond to your content in a way that makes a big impact on your business. So boosting versus ads are two different things. And I want to make sure that's understood so that you know that what you're putting your dollars towards. So in a sense, by simply boosting posts, you are not leveraging the full power of Facebook advertising system. Instead of boosting Facebook posts, use Facebook Ads Manager, which once again, Keisha Ward reviewed with us back in November. And we're happy to share it with you if you need that information. So with ads, you can expand your content's reach while capitalizing on better targeting, more features, and higher content for space on Facebook. So taking the extra step, and I won't go through each of these, and you can just kind of compare and see which one is better as you look at that picture there. But taking the extra step to promote posts through Ad Manager goes a long way in terms of your results. So again, I highly recommend it. So it's an oldie, it's an old thing that I've been stressing, but it's good. So it's one of the things about Facebook that right now, they're making sure it's still valuable. So if you're not investing in ads, figure out the best way to do that to make Facebook work for you and your business, okay? All right, so like I said, we had to look back to know where we are going. And with more than 2.7 billion monthly active users, 2.7 billion active. That don't mean that's how many people are on Facebook. That's how many people are active on Facebook a month, right? 2.7 billion monthly active users worldwide. Facebook has cleared the way for itself as the leading social platform. I say it all the time, and most people still find it surprising. When I say most people, I mean millennials and definitely Gen Z. They always find it surprising. Facebook is the GOAT of the social media game. It is the greatest of all time when we're talking about social media. It's the reason why I only focused on Facebook today, as opposed to our future sessions where we'll talk about multiple platforms in one session. So because it's the GOAT of social media, the vast majority of businesses cannot afford to neglect the new Facebook for 2021 as part of your marketing strategy. And as Facebook changes, users, business owners, creators everywhere are wise to pause whatever they're doing and tune into ways that you and your experiences and workflows are bound to shift according to Facebook. Most of us hate to hear that, but it's the truth if you want your business to succeed on social media. Take the time to learn some of the changes. Okay. Okay, so quick poll by show of hands or by comments in the chat or on Facebook comments. How many of you realize that the Facebook logo changed? And I can't see you, so I'm just gonna hope that a lot of you are saying yes. I can see Alan, so what's the majority of the responses? Is it yes or no? You're muted, Alan.
That might help if I take myself off mute. Most people are saying no, but a few people have said yes.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's really surprising as well that how many people have not. Kudos to those that recognized it. I pat myself on the back too because I realized it a few months ago and I was like, but I didn't realize it on Facebook. I'm not sure if the others realized it on Facebook. I realized it on, when you're on the internet and you kind of have your tabs up and you kind of see the little image for whatever website you're on. That's when I realized it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But because Facebook is Facebook, how many of you realize that sometimes when you're on the site with the new logo, for those that recognize the new logo, when you're on the site, that sometimes you're on the site with the new logo and then sometimes you're on the site with the old logo based on what you're doing on Facebook. It took me a while to realize that too. So I recognize that, for example, when I'm on the content creator, I have the new logo. But then if I'm still in the content creator, but I want to go back and put my videos in a particular order, it takes me back to the old logo. So I don't know why. I don't know why that's happening. Facebook is probably still, gradually making changes, or maybe it's just that some things cannot happen on the new platform. So they still have us existing on the old platform. And as many of you know, Facebook has provided us with a number of different apps in addition to Facebook. So we have a different app for Messenger. We have a different app for our business suite, page managers, all of those, because I'm sure they can't put all of that on one platform without it crashing. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention. It's not that important, but it's just interesting to see these things constantly changing and, pay attention to that, because normally that's a sign that Facebook has made a change, because they changed that logo long before they announced the major changes that they did. Okay. All right. So the first big change that I want to talk about with Facebook is the Facebook redesign. This redesign was loved by many and not so loved by so many more. But regardless, it is here to stay. So we have to get used to it. The primary change to note is that the design places more emphasis on groups and events. And according to Facebook, these are the two biggest reasons people visit Facebook every day: groups and events. So as you plan your Facebook strategy, it is paramount to recognize the ways that the platform has once again shifted how your content will be consumed by users. So while time will not allow us to go through every single redesign change, and there are quite a lot, again, I implore you to spend 30 minutes a day for about a week learning the new design and how it impacts your business page. So 30 minutes a day between today and next week, just go on Facebook, because that's how I learned it. I literally was just on Facebook, was like, oh, this is different. Let me see where it takes me. About 30 minutes a day, and I learned something new every day for about a week. And just see how it impacts your business page. But some of the changes that you'll recognize and you'll see, and we won't go through all of them today, you'll see changes to sell your products, add appointment bookments. Like you can make appointments on Facebook. You can host paid online events on Facebook now. You can showcase your menu. You can highlight if you're a diverse business. You can promote local businesses if you're a local business and it has like a local business aspect to it. You can manage your shop. You can use Business App Store. There's a lot of changes to the publishing tools and so much more. So again, I beg of you, honestly, to spend some time figuring out all of those, because time won't allow us to go through every single one today. But for the purposes of today, I will focus on the shop and the selling of your products as part of the change that Facebook has done. But again, please don't miss what I mentioned a few minutes ago about Facebook groups and events. Facebook themselves have done the research and have the data that says users are coming to Facebook primarily for groups and events. So if that don't tell you anything, if you don't already have a Facebook group, maybe consider creating one. If you're not creating events on Facebook, maybe start to do so, because once again, they have done the work and provided the data to say that. We won't focus on groups and events today. So within those 30 minutes that you're going to do a day for the next week, spend some time maybe looking at other groups, seeing how they're best managing theirs, see if it makes sense for you to have a group, whatever it is, if it makes sense for your business. But again, today we're going to focus on shops and selling, okay? I'm gonna pause for a second, just in case. Are there any questions either in the chat, Alan, or on Facebook comments that I need to be aware of before I continue?
Some of the comments are about how good the information is that you're sharing. So keep it on, keep it going.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I'll keep going here, and we'll start right here with Facebook Shops. Facebook Shops basically makes it easy for businesses to set up a single online store for customers to access both on Facebook and on Instagram. So creating a Facebook shop is super simple, and best of all, it's free. You know, sometimes people think it's a competitor for some of the other online shops, depending on how you think through it. But again, it's free. Some of the other platforms, you may need to give them a percentage, you may need to pay. I'm going to say again, Facebook Shop is free. Businesses can choose the products they want to feature from their catalog, and then you can customize the look and feel of your shop with a cover image, accent colors, and whatever you need to make it really feel like your brand. So what this means is basically any seller, no matter your size, the size of your business, or no matter your budget, can bring your business online to connect with customers wherever and whenever it's convenient for them. This is one of the things that Facebook did during the start of the pandemic. This was important because a lot of businesses needed to quickly shift to having an online presence. They also made it easy for customers to find you once you create a shop on Facebook. So people can find Facebook shops on your business page or on your Instagram profile. If you have an Instagram page for your business, they can discover them through your stories. And once again, my favorite thing on Facebook, through ads. From there, they can browse your full collection. They can save products that you have to come back to it later, products that they're interested in, and they can also make the place to order right there on the platform on Facebook, or you can direct them to your website to make the purchase. Facebook has made it easy to do both. Now, if they decide to purchase it on Facebook, in the app on Facebook, I think right now that's only available to customers in the US. That's important for you to know if you are selling products internationally. And I know I'm talking a lot about products because Facebook Shop is very product heavy, but I want to speak a moment to those of you that offer services. You have to be creative. We talked about this a few months ago. You can present your services online as a product so that you can ensure you are still benefiting from these things. What do you mean present my services as a product, Magali? No problem. I'll tell you. So if you, let's just say you offer counseling, right? Counseling is a service that you wouldn't necessarily call a product, but once you create your packages for your counseling, so you can say, you know, I offer a 1 hour package, or I offer a 1 hour and a half virtual package and I send you a book, whatever it is. I'm not in the counseling business, obviously, but whatever it is, those packages now become your product. So no matter what services that you offer, think about it in shops that way. These become your products. Present your services as a product so that you are still benefiting from things like Facebook Shop. Okay.
Magali, let me jump in with a quick question.
Yep.
Kim asked, where's the shop section on Facebook? And where it is really depends on what device you're on. For example, I'm looking at my phone, and at the bottom of my phone, you've got a little a menu, if you will. And the one in the middle, I don't know how you would know unless you click it. That's the shop. And the first thing it says at the top is make money selling, and then you can create a listing. So I kind of put my phone in front of the screen. So at the bottom, you can't really see, but you see what's in blue in the very center? That's the little icon for selling. And then what it says at the top when you click on it is make money selling, and then under it, it says create listing.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Yeah, depending on if you're on a laptop or a tablet, it might be in a different place, but look for that little icon.
And if all else fails, Kim, because I'm not quite sure what device you're on, whether you're on an iPhone, Android, or a laptop of some sort, if all else fails, literally if you either search in Facebook Shops, or go to Google and Google Facebook Shops, it'll lead you to where you need to be. When in doubt, Google. That's the golden rule of thumb for the internet. When in doubt, Google. So hopefully,
I have a question.
Yep.
So we have a catalog of all of our items online, and it's linked in Facebook. So are you saying this is different than having a catalog of items?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by catalog. Can you expound on that just a bit? You just have it listed on your page or something?
Yeah, somehow it's linked between Facebook and Instagram. Like if people wanted to buy something, like a buy it now, I guess, type thing, where they can
may be in Facebook Shops. You may be in Facebook Shops. I can't say for certain without seeing it, but based on what you just said, it sounds like you're in Facebook Shops. You will know, are you able to have people literally put things like in a cart and purchase from your catalog?
They can, but I don't think anybody has done it yet. But
okay, if they can, then you're probably in Facebook Shop. But yes, and you want to make sure, and I won't get into it too much because I know we have some more content to get through. But something that you want to do, I think that's Mary speaking, right?
Yeah.
Something that you want to make sure you do, Mary, when you take those 30 minutes per day over the next week. One of the things you want to do is spend time in your Facebook Shop as if you are the customer. And to do that, Facebook normally has an option where you can interact not as your page, and interact as if you are someone coming to the page as a visitor. I think it says view as visitor.
Okay.
You want to click that and go through the process as if you are a customer. Make sure that you have that cart enabled.
Gotcha.
Because
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I want to say maybe a month or so ago, I went through this process with one of the entrepreneurs that we work with at Hustle, and it took us an hour to figure out that her cart wasn't working, that she didn't have her cart up and people couldn't purchase her book. So that's something you want to make sure that you do. And again, if you have questions, feel free to send us an email.
Magdalene, there was another question. Oh, I'm sorry, my phone's ringing.
Yep.
There was another question. If you have a Facebook business page, oh no, she's telling it. If you have a Facebook business page, there's a button to add products.
Yep. Thank you so much for bringing that. I don't know who said that, Tasha, but thank you for sharing that. So yes, if you have a business page, it's fairly simple once you're on your business page. Facebook has made this beyond easy. If you see your menu on I think it's your left-hand side on your business page, really all of your options are there. And if you don't already have a product, if you don't already have Facebook Shop going, what Facebook typically tends to do, once you go on your business page, at the very top is a banner that says, do you want to sell products on Facebook? They make it super easy for you. So it's just one of those things that you ignore sometimes. I know I do often, but it's there. And just like when you're in a physical store and need to ask someone for help, in Facebook Shops, you'll be able to message a business through WhatsApp or through Messenger or through Instagram direct, so that they can ask questions, they can get support, they can track their deliveries, and so much more. When I say Facebook is making this super easy for your customers and for you as a business owner, I really mean that. So you want to pay attention to that. And a lot of people fail to realize, I don't know, I know I forget often that WhatsApp is connected to Facebook just as much as Instagram is. And a lot of people use WhatsApp, especially, again, if you have international customers, that will matter a lot to you. And something that Facebook, they may have made this change, but I know that when I first was putting this together, it was something that they said they'll start to do in the future. You'll be able to view business shop and make purchases right within those messenger features like WhatsApp and Instagram. So instead of just talking to you and things of that nature, they'll be able to purchase right in the conversation. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it matters. It goes back to what I was telling you. Facebook spent a lot of time over the last 2 years making it easy for customers to contact you and for you to respond, because what they recognize when it comes to online, customers want to be able to hear from you quickly. They don't want to ask you a question and wait 48 hours. They want to hear from you in 48 seconds. And Facebook has made that super, super, super easy to do. So take advantage of all of the ways that they have done that. Facebook has also invested in features across apps like Instagram Shop, which we'll talk a little bit about next time, live shopping, and more things that will be integrated with Facebook Shops. So Instagram Shop, I won't get too much into it. Well, maybe I won't talk about it next time. Let me talk about it today. So this past summer, they started in the US. Facebook introduced Instagram Shop, which is a new way to discover and buy products you love. If you're familiar with Instagram, the Explore page on Instagram, you can literally purchase products from there. And you can get inspired by different collections. You can do ads to make sure you end up on those collections. You get inspired by Instagram collection by going to @shop. So if you're familiar with Instagram, you do search the @ and the word shop, and so many things come up that you can literally purchase from Instagram. You can browse selections from your favorite brands and creators. You can filter by categories like beauty, home, things of that nature. And later in 2020, so towards the end of last year, Facebook also added a new shop tab in the navigation bar. So you can get to Instagram Shop literally in one tap. And that matters to users. You may see it's a simple change, but it mattered so much to people on Instagram to quickly get to that and make their purchases. Something else that Facebook has added is live shopping features. So people have been using live video to showcase their products for years. So that's nothing new. Some shoe stores announcing sneakers to beauty influencers, trying on different lipsticks, things of that nature. But now Facebook is making it easier to shop for those products in real time. So soon what we'll start to see is brands and businesses will be able to tag products from their Facebook shop or their catalog. Mary, I think it's the same thing you're referring to, before going live. And those products will be shown at the bottom of the video. So people can easily tap the video to learn more or make the purchase while you are live. So not a pre-recorded video, but you know when people go live, how I'm live right now on Facebook, if I wanted to sell a product while I'm live, I'll be able to add that product at the bottom of my screen on my live so you can purchase it while I'm speaking to you. That's really, really good because it helps with customer engagement. You're asking the questions, getting the answer immediately, and feeling comfortable with making that purchase. So look out for that rollout. They've actually already started testing it on a few business pages on Facebook and Instagram. You may be one of the pages on Facebook that they've started the test with, so you may already be familiar with it, but they will roll it out more broadly in the coming months. Something else that Facebook is doing with Facebook Shop that you may want to be aware of is connecting loyalty programs to your Facebook account. Facebook tested ways to make it easier to earn rewards with business customers. Like any other loyalty program that you're familiar with at your local cafe, Facebook will do the same thing. So Facebook users will be able to easily see and keep track of their points and rewards. Facebook is currently exploring ways to help small businesses create, manage, and surface your loyalty program right on Facebook Shops. So even if you don't already have an existing loyalty program, Facebook will soon offer you one for your business to get customers to return to you and continue to support you through that loyalty program. And lastly, as we talk about Facebook shops, and hopefully I'll be able to share this video. That's what this screen is. It's a video I want to quickly show you. But lastly, with that is Facebook is currently working with, I'll call them partners. You know, I said in the beginning, some people look at them as competitors, but Facebook once again got really smart, and they're making them their partners. So when you think about things like Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce or what is it, SaidCommerce or Cafe24, Channel Advisor, all of these are different things, Feedonomics. All of these things are different platforms that you can also sell your products and services on. And Facebook have partnered with them in order to give small businesses like ours the support that's needed. So these organizations, obviously, they offer powerful tools, if you're familiar with them, to help entrepreneurs start and run their businesses online. So now with Facebook, they'll be able to not just help small businesses build and grow, but they'll be able to do that through Facebook shops and using their commerce tools all in one. So instead of making them a competitor, Facebook have partnered with them to make it easier for you as a business owner. So hopefully all that information about Facebook shop is a little helpful. And again, I know it was a lot. Take some time in your 30 minutes to go and learn a little bit more about it. And hopefully it relieves some of the pressure that small businesses are currently facing due to the pandemic. And I know we were hoping we wouldn't still be here in 2021, but we are. And I don't know that that's going to change in the next 6 months or so. And you don't want to put your business in a position in the next 6 months to not be prepared. So yeah, take advantage of that. I'm going to share a different screen in just a second, and I need you all to confirm for me that you can see this. Can you all see the new screen? It's a Facebook ad. All right, perfect. So hopefully this works. I just want to quickly share this about Facebook shops. And if you can't hear it, somebody stop me.
I'm Allison. And I'm Jamie. And we're the owners of Ink Meets Paper. We're a letterpress and paper goods company. We print on antique printing equipment, and we're really big proponents of the handwritten note. The shift to selling online, especially in the light of what's happening now with COVID-19, I think is absolutely vital. And I think businesses, small businesses, all businesses recognize the importance.
Facebook and Instagram represent one of the biggest ways that we visually communicate our brand to our audience and connect with them. Being able to highlight products that are in those shots just makes it that much easier for people to connect with. So they can see a product that they like, they can touch that product and add it to their bag right there. So it really is a true shopping experience. The process of setting up our Facebook shop went really smoothly. It's very well designed. Adding products was quite straightforward. They've got a great UI to simply add products one by one or import products through an XML file straight from our e-commerce site, which really helped us get a fully fleshed out store.
One of the features with Facebook shops was the ability to set up collections. It allows us to kind of keep a collection going that is kind of new and fresh. So when our customers pop over, that they're seeing a constant update of new products.
I think it's so helpful to be able to set up Facebook and Instagram shops at the same time. You know, Facebook and Instagram have allowed a lot of humanity in this experience as we've connected with our customers, because we can't see them or hug them or shake their hands when they come into our store. But we can speak to them and speak to the real, just human nature of what's going on and where we all find ourselves.
Awesome. So I just wanted to share that with you just so you can kind of hear and see how simple it is to set up your Facebook shop. And let me get my presentation back up here. To set up your Facebook shop and know that it's not stressful and it's not something that it's going to take all of your time, but it makes life so much easier for you as a business owner. Okay. Can you share my screen?
While you're setting that up, I did get a question. Mm-hmm. Once you set up your shop, how do people know to find you? Do you promote it yourself, or does it just show up on your people in your network? It just show up on their screen?
I'm not sure who asked that question, but I'm going to say this is why I love to bring up ads. Ads are important, but even if you don't do ads, which I don't encourage, I encourage ads, it will be on your business page. It will be one of the options. Shop will be one of the options on your business page. We talked about the explore page on Instagram and Facebook. I think it's called Discover, or whatever it's called on Facebook. For when people search, it'll come up on that. People, that button that Alan showed you all on the on his phone when he was showing you where to get to shops. If a consumer, if someone as a user, if I just click that, Facebook is intelligent enough to first show me what's in my network, what's in my community, what's in local to me. So it'll pop up on there. Obviously, if you do an ad, you'll be probably at the very top. If that's something that's worth your time, which again, it is worth your time. So there are various ways to do that. But yes, to what Alan said, you do have to also promote your shop. It's just like what you would have to do on business. If you want to make sales, you still have to market to make those sales. So hopefully that's helpful.
Thanks.
All right, so we have about 15 minutes, and I don't know if I'm going to get through everything, but I'm going to try. So Facebook also made some changes from images and videos. And these are kind of the first three things I want to highlight. There are a lot more than this, but Facebook once penalized ads with higher amounts of text if you put it as an image. So if you had an image, but it had a lot of text, Facebook either would not post your ad, they'll decline it or things of that nature. But as of September 2020, they began removing all of those prior sources indicating that, you know, you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that, and you're no longer being penalized. So I think, it is 20%. They remove restrictions on ads, which include more than 20% text in the main image. This is significant. This is a significant update for Facebook, because for years, people would have an image ready and it has text on it, and Facebook would not approve it. And they would have to go through the entire process of changing something to get those words off. So it's good to hear that they made that change, and that's good for all of us, because there's some information we know people don't read, and you need it on that image because people won't read the post itself. So you need to have their information on the text. Also, Facebook announced in late 2020 that certain partners, and I'm using air quotes when I say partners, can claim ownership over their images, and then moderate their usage across Facebook platforms such as Instagram and WhatsApp and things of that nature. So as it stands right now, this implementation could affect reposted content on Facebook and other platforms like Instagram. The current options that they have if you post an image that someone feel you shouldn't have been allowed to post, so like if it has copyright things on it, the current options is that Facebook gives them the option that you can let the image stay up, they can issue for you to take it down, or they can use a territorial block, making it invisible in certain countries. And what's happening is that Facebook is now changing that to most images. I think this is to help support artists and creatives, because a lot of times they put out content that we freely use and they aren't benefiting from it. So I definitely understand it, and it's something for you to think about on how that's going to impact what images you use on your social platforms in the coming months. So you'll start to see that, and it's just something for us to pay attention to and see how it impacts our interactions on Facebook as it relates to images and videos. So Facebook also introduced Collab. I don't think everyone has access to it because it's still in beta mode, but it's their version of TikTok, which, as you know, we will talk about during this series as well. But it's their version of TikTok. The key difference being that they're focusing on music making. And this kind of steers the whole idea of videos in a totally different direction because they're focused more on music videos. But the concept, again, is very similar to TikTok. Basically, it's allowing us to create Facebook music videos from other people's content on Facebook. I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing if you're not seeing it for itself, but it'll be interesting to see how that happens and the effects it have on business pages, because it's going to be the new content requirement from users. As we always say, content is king and queen when it comes to marketing. So you always have to stay up with whatever new content is happening, content categories is happening, and to make those sales. It's not on the slideshow, but I also want to mention that Facebook also dropped a free form graphics app. It's called, I think it's called Egg, but it's E, and then a dot, then GG. I think it'll be very interesting to see how it impact businesses. Again, it might only impact creative businesses since it's more free form graphics. I'm thinking it might be some sort of competition to Canva, to help you understand better what I'm saying. But it's available now if it's something you want to check out to better create graphics for your Facebook and see if that works for you and your business. So those are just some of the changes from an images and video standpoint that you need to know about in 2021. I'm kind of going to move on quickly here. Okay, hashtag usage on Facebook. So most people actually steer clear from adding hashtags to Facebook posts because traditionally it wasn't that important. Like if you use hashtag on Instagram and on Twitter, it mattered more than it did on Facebook. But Facebook is putting more of a focus on it going forward. The platform is implementing what they call recommended tag listings. I mean, some of you may already see this happening because it started they started testing it in September of last year. And I don't think it's a complete rollout yet. I still think it's to a specific audience. I've had the opportunity to test it. I've been one of the random chosen people. I like it, but I'm also very partial to hashtags because I believe that they help create your digital footprint. So I'm a big proponent of them. And it could be a good way to broaden your conversation and to keep your conversations connected across platforms to use those hashtags. If there is a science and an art to hashtags, if you want to use them right. So if you're not already using them on Facebook, I really, really encourage you to start using them on Facebook. Facebook's on, again, it's a bit more curated since theirs is recommended. They'll have a list of recommended things that you use. So if you decide to use it, what I'm saying here when I say there's a science and an art to it, think through the ones that you select and make sure that you're using those same hashtags on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, wherever else you have your social platforms, because again, you're creating your digital footprint. So that's what I'll leave on that. But just wanted you to know that you'll start to see more of that on Facebook. And I'm really surprised how many years it took them to become a fan of this, because again, I'm very much a fan of hashtags. Let's see here. Facebook has outlined a few things as it relates to limits. So we'll start to see this in February 2021. Again, this is connected to ads. When you get this presentation where I have it underlined here under new limits, that actually links you to some of the details around the limits, but it basically says exactly how the new regulations will apply. Facebook themselves says that this will maximize performance, ad performance that is. And their rationale is when an advertiser runs too many ads at once, each ad delivers less often. This means that fewer ads fewer ads exit what they call their learning phase, because they have a 4-tier phase with their ads. So their learning phase, they say fewer ads exit that phase without truly getting the benefit, and more of your budget is spent before the delivery system can optimize the performance. What that means is prior to this change that we're going to see in February 2021, when people had, as small business owners, we probably are not going to be that impacted by it, but a lot of companies and businesses run hundreds of ads at one time, you all. Hundreds of ads, thousands even, especially during campaign season. You know, if we look at Donald Trump as an example, he ran, I can't even give you the number of how many ads was running at one time. And the way that works, it just negatively impacted Facebook, because it looks like Facebook was not providing results that's required for your ads. So Facebook has adjusted that so that they look good and you as a business owner look good. But don't fret, because the limits are pretty generous, and you'll see in just a second here. Yeah, the limits are right there. I laid them out for you quickly for you to see, but they're pretty generous, excuse me. In some ways, it's really strange to see Facebook actively limiting ad spending, because you would think they want us to spend more money. But again, poor results don't reflect well on Facebook overall as an ad platform. So if Facebook can provide better results in a way that's realistic, it won't have you spending money and feeling like your ads aren't giving you what you need. But as you can see, it's not that big of a deal as far as the changes that made. Like, you can still run 250 ads at one time. So it won't impact us that much. But they did say overall, even for businesses that are running 1,000, 5,000, 20,000 ads at a time, for those of us that are probably running 1 or 2 at a time, it will better impact us because they're not saturating. You know, it sounds like a lot already with them having 250 ads, but if Facebook limits a company that normally would have 20,000 ads taking up the space, it will better impact you as a business owner if you're only running 2 ads. So that's something we'll start to see more in February of 2021 to see if we like it or not. Because of time, I won't spend too much on this, but this is very important. Facebook Business Suite. The launch of yet another platform to create scheduled content has been provided to us by Facebook. By now, I would think that most of you are somewhat familiar with this change. And if you're not, you probably will be soon. I think Facebook may have shifted everyone, but you will be if you haven't been already. Honestly, I am still adjusting to this change and can't truly say that I'm a fan of it yet. But to be fair, there are many functionalities within it that is proven to be beneficial. And as you can see, I won't go through it in detail again because of time, but the main things is that now you can view your business at a glance from your home screen. You can see an overview of your Facebook page and Instagram account. You'll see updates, recent posts, ads, insights, all of that. You can also view activities, so all your notifications from both platforms in one place, and you can view your insights. You can see the details about your business performances, such as trends, activities, all of that in one place, as opposed to going to all these separate places on the platforms. It also allows you to create better. You can publish and schedule posts, both on Facebook and Instagram in one place. So it's now like the Hootsuite. If you're familiar with platforms like Hootsuite, you can do it now in Facebook on both platforms in one place. You can create ads in the same place. You can boost posts if you choose to do that. You can promote your page. You'll be able to see metrics for your ads, things of that nature. You can create automated responses in Messenger to help you save time in responding to questions that people commonly ask. It also provides you better access, so access to Commerce Manager. If you have a business account that use a commerce account on Facebook, I know everybody don't do that, but if you do, you'll be able to access it from your business suite. You can also create new commerce account for your business if you don't have one. So it'll allow you to create one because a lot of people didn't realize it even existed to do that. So now in the business suite, you can do it. You can also access other tools. Once you go to your business suite, you'll see there's literally an other tools section, and they have so many other tools that you can access right there in the business suite. And overall, the benefits there: saves you time, says that you'll stay up to date and you can realize real business results. So again, while it may take some adjusting in the long run, this seems to be a good thing for businesses overall. And again, it's one of those things that Facebook says is here to stay. So take those 30 minutes and get accustomed to it and get used to it, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, and this here is just for you. Once you receive this presentation, this links to the Facebook for Business page that most people never go to. In those 30 minutes that I keep stressing, click this link, learn more about Facebook for Business, make it a habit to visit this link to stay up on news and other resources that Facebook do throughout the year. This is the best thing, one of the best things you can do for yourself. I'll provide another link in just a moment that's also a resource for you to do that. And it's in your homework. So I made this link very clear in case you have any issues clicking on it. That way you can just copy and paste it. But as it says there, believe it or not, I did not even scratch the surface of all the changes Facebook implemented throughout 2020. So again, I encourage you to visit this link on your downtime, that 30 minutes a day, because this link breaks down all of the changes by month. So you'll see December 2020, Facebook changes. November 2020, October 2020, so on and so forth. And they've done this for at least the past 2 years. So if you wanted to go as far back as 2018, you'll be able to see changes. And the good thing is they regularly update this page. So when Facebook make changes in February or in June of this year, you can go here and say, oh, this is the change and this is how it works. So this is a good site to make a habit to visit. I'm almost done. I think I have 2 more slides for you, I promise. Yeah, so just a last thought. With everything that I hope you just learned today and take in, I'll be remiss if I didn't tell you that this could all change in the blink of an eye. It's Facebook's MO to make major changes as soon as we have adjusted to the previous changes. So as the quote goes, the only constant is change. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure they were talking about Facebook. I'm pretty sure that when the Greek philosopher said that, he was talking about Facebook. So just keep that in mind as you learn these things. They're always subject to change. So don't shoot me in 3 months if it's no longer the same, as we talked about today. And just to close out, next week, we'll talk a little about Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, and TikTok all in one session. So that's a lot that we're going to cover in one session. But next week, that's how we'll quickly go through some of the things that's important to you as a business owner, and we'll dive into that. And we'll get this presentation to you within the next 24 hours. You should have it in your inbox via email. So as long as you registered for this, we'll get that to you. And if you need any of the previous presentations, don't hesitate to reply to that email when you receive it and ask for it. And I know we are right at the time, but if you don't have to leave, thank you. If you do have to leave, thank you so much for joining us. And if you don't have to leave and you have questions, I am happy to stay on for a few more minutes and do that. I'm trying to stop sharing my screen. There we go. And do that. And for those on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us as well. Alan will let me know if there are any questions on either platforms. I know, again, that was a lot of information.
No questions, just a bunch of comments, great information. Thank you for sharing that kind of stuff. That was awesome, in all caps.
Right. I'm so glad that it was beneficial to you all, and hopefully you join us next week as we go through more of the platforms. And I don't know if I said it in the beginning, but Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy New Year to everyone. All right. I'm so proud of myself for being done right at 1:30. I was just like, there's no way I'm going to get through all of this, but I'm so glad that I did. And I see all of your comments. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. And I definitely will read through all of those comments later today or possibly tomorrow. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, everyone. I encourage you that you do that homework. Take 30 minutes a day for the next week to go through that. And I will see you on the 13th, which is Sigma Theta's founding date. So I will have on red and so in honor of my sorority and our founders.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes. I see I have a soror in the chat. Hey, soror. Yeah. All right. I see everyone's dropping off. Oh, I can stop the live now. Thank you again for joining us on Facebook. Let me stop that live. All right. There we go.